Hello and welcome. Here's the PlayStation Network Resident Evil 5 avatars that I promised to show you. They're now available in the UK and I'm guessing the rest of Europe. I could be wrong on that because they were only available, if I'm correct, in North American territories previously. We're back with Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries again. I'm going to be playing the experimental facility today, which is, for me, one of the more challenging levels. I don't personally believe it's the hardest level, but it's one of the harder levels, as I said. I'm going to be using the battlesuit version of Jill. Actually, upon reflection now doing this, I actually in some ways would have preferred playing as the other version of Jill because of her weapon set's a lot more challenging, but this level is quite challenging anyway, and I just didn't believe that I'd be able to complete it without dying quite a few times, and I believed I wouldn't be able to do it at all, so I kind of went with the battlesuit version of Jill because her weapon set's a lot stronger. So that's the only reason there, really. Because this suit that Jill's currently wearing is actually used in, it was at the end of Resident Evil Afterlife, because if you've played Resident Evil 5 you would have recognised her straight away if you've seen Afterlife, and I believe they're using it for Retribution as well. And the reason why this level's a lot more challenging a bit later on is halfway through the game a lot of lickers start dropping down and they can be quite hard to deal with. They're probably not as well, it's not that they're not as strong, it's because the weapons in this version of the game are a lot more powerful than the versions of the guns in Resident Evil 2. You've got free aim as well, whereas in Resident Evil 2 it's just locked on to the character when it auto-aimed, and you couldn't always see where the character was, as you pretty much, if it's in front of you you can see it, but if it's behind, obviously unless you turn around you won't be able to see it. So they're not as bad as they were in 2, for obvious reasons, but I think they are still quite deadly in this version of the game. They've got like a tongue grab move, and if you've got no one to help you there, it can be quite deadly. I was actually going to try and get some Mercenaries co-op done, but I haven't been able to, get someone to help me with that. So I'm going to be doing, I might be doing some other game modes tomorrow because I have got to the point where I'm a bit fed up with Mercenaries. So I'll see what other stuff I can find. I might do Resident Evil Survivor 2 actually. I'll just give you a little look at that, or I might do the battle game on Resident Evil Code Veronica. Oh, those things, I forgot about those things. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't sure actually because I thought I didn't think it'd do too much damage, but I thought I'd just hold back, and I sort of just panicked a bit and ran. But yeah, those things there are quite annoying. Sometimes those, I think they're called Mangini, I could be wrong, in this version of the game. In 4 they're called Las Pelagas, I think is the term. The ones that, when they start like bulking up, I suppose that's the term, you're either going to get that thing there or they'll just explode, and to be honest you kind of hope that they explode because those ones can be really annoying. The worst form I found of them is a bit later on in the game. I'm not sure if it's in the Mercenaries, that version of it. There's one that's like got armour on, and he's really hard to damage, to sort of get him to open the shell bit up to shoot the thing inside, so that can be really annoying. That's quite an effective move there from Jill actually when she does the double knee thing. It's an instant kill move, which is why it's quite effective obviously, but it's quite a nice move actually. It kind of looks quite cool, but it is yet again over the top, but a lot of these moves are, to be fair. I actually don't know because there is a trophy in the first chapter, or the second, it's a chapter called Public Assembly I believe. If you shoot one of those you can get a trophy called Ride the Lightning, I think it is. I could be wrong on that, which is it's basically the name of, I think it's the name of a Metallica song and album. I could be wrong, I know it's a Metallica song but I'm not sure if it's their album. But I could be wrong if it is called Ride the Lightning. It's something Lightning. I will look it up, because I'm not entirely sure. Well, so far we haven't seen any lickers, which is great news for me, but We just don't know when they're going to come, actually. I actually did manage to watch all of Resident Evil Damnation last night. And for the first 40 minutes, I actually really enjoyed it. But the second half, well, I haven't said the second half of the film, it was about 1 minute and 38. 1 minute 38, I think, in total. I could be wrong. It's roughly around that mark. Sort of the last couple of, well, I'd say the last sort of 50 odd minutes of the film then, well, last hour of the film technically, it kind of just started to sort of go downhill very slowly, and then all of a sudden towards the end it just really was as if they couldn't be bothered with story, and they just thought, let's chuck some action, over the top action, and keep people entertained that way. And it really just, it wasn't great, to be fair, when they lost the story. I mean, towards the end, they didn't like clear up a lot of things that sort of I thought needed sort of explaining. The main thing, though, I was glad that they did halfway through the credits show you what happened. So I'm trying not to spoil it, but I just sort of wanted to say that. But yeah, no, the first 40 minutes was really good. I thought it was quite a good story, and there was some of the characters were actually really quite good. So that was great, but you know, some of the characters towards the end really just, it was just, I don't know how to put it, but you didn't seem to really care about them all that much, or have any, they didn't sort of, like, you didn't hate them or like them or that kind of thing. It just didn't seem, nothing like that. It just didn't give you those emotions really. And when they were just chucking the action thing into it, it really lost me, to be honest. And personally, I thought Degeneration was 10 times better. It really was a better film. So yeah, it kind of seems though with Capcom stuff, when they do the zombies, they seem to do really well. When they do the because it has the Pelaga things in again, they're not zombies. That's not spoiling it, because that you can see that from the get-go. So yeah, but because the first Degeneration had zombies, so it seems like when Capcom do non-zombie stuff, it doesn't seem to be great, as good. I mean, as I said, I did enjoy Resident Evil 4 and 5, but they weren't as good as, well, I wouldn't say, I don't know, I did really enjoy 4, and I did sort of enjoy 5, but, I mean, for a lot of people, they weren't as good as the first couple of Resident Evil games, so it just really, I wouldn't, personally I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, there's things I've not liked and I've gone back to watch and I've liked, so maybe it's a case of that. The only thing I will say, with trying not to spoil it, is if you're sort of interested in seeing the BOW things, liquors and, well, I can't really go out into saying what's in there, but I mean the trailer's showing liquors. If you want to see BOW sort of get into a fight, then you might like it, but it still, with that, it still wasn't great with that for me, but you know, it was just like they were trying to really just use things that have never been done, which probably people may want to see. Personally, I didn't, so it was just like they ran out of ideas, really, to be honest. That's the only way I'm going to sum it up. I would say I was very disappointed with it, but I mean, when it was good, it was good. I mean, it was quite amazing how good it looked. Visually wise, it was quite good. Because I know I think it was in Degeneration that the mouth movements weren't great. In Resident Evil 5 they're not great. But in that film they weren't so bad. So that was good. Though at the end they were trying to they were giving you footage of Resident Evil 6, well, after they showed the final scene that wrapped everything, well, wrapped one part of the major plot up, and they just showed you a load of Resident Evil 6 stuff, and that was really about it. I don't know if any liquors have actually popped up, because this is kind of annoying now, because I normally like to stage, just put every bit of effort and just sort of stay up on that top floor, and just like, because you've got a ladder, but I really wasn't going to survive up there, so I decided to come down here and then hide in the lift. I don't believe we've seen any liquors. I remember seeing one, but I don't. I think we've gone past the point where I've probably been on, and when I was talking about Damnation. Oh, there's one. Oh, there we go. There's one liquor. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, this is. I remember seeing this bit now. I should have seen it because I was playing it, but yeah. Those rocket launcher guys are really annoying as well. Oh, nice headshot on that liquor. So you can see why I said they're not as strong as the ones in Resident Evil 2. That's that mission over. I think that's going to get me about an A, looking at the score. Yeah, just about an A. So yeah, that's the end of it. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll join me for whatever I've got planned tomorrow.